a much lighter topic. Next week, we have the Apple iPhone event. For me, it's like Christmas Day. Actually, when it comes out, it's Christmas Day. This is kind of like pre-Christmas. And so, we've heard about the new capture button, which is more like a, DSLR. You touch it lightly, it'll focus. You press hard, it'll take a photo. There's a rumor that if you swipe left and right, it'll zoom in or switch modes. There's probably going to be, not probably, there's definitely going to be more powerful chips, which there always is. Probably better camera, which there always is. But it doesn't feel to me like there's a massive change in hardware this year. I, for one, am just looking for a freaking USB-C AirPods Max. That's all I want. All I want is AirPods Max with a USB-C plug. What do you guys think about this? Are we excited? Is it more of the same? Are we hoping they're actually going to release Apple Intelligence finally? Where are we at with the Apple iPhone event?
I think they're going to have some version of the Apple Intelligence stuff they previewed. I think that'll be clear and exciting. So I don't know how much of it will be there, but I think it's going to be it's going to be a lot more than they have now, which is almost nothing.
I would like to see the AI, and even if it's a preview mode, I would like to see what it gives developers and what is the ecosystem play here. Because I think Apple has been very good at releasing their own technology, but they've been amazing at creating ecosystem and platforms. And I think if they do their job right here, they could open up a new distribution channel for developers to innovate on a very, very interesting AI platform.
So my thoughts are, well, you said it's a bit like Christmas. And, I think Christmas is one of those things where you start off in your life, if you celebrate Christmas, really excited. You're a kid, you're like, oh, it's Christmas Day, this is fantastic. And then you become an adult and Christmas gets less and less exciting. And that's how I feel about iPhone events. What's this, the iPhone 16? I have trouble caring, especially on the hardware side. I think the changes have been incremental for years now, right? And it's just not very interesting. So straight away, we've talked about AI and so on. Apple announced Apple Intelligence several months ago. They still haven't released most of it. Some of it will perhaps be exclusive to the iPhone 16. But I think even in having this discussion, we've admitted that the hardware is no longer interesting. What might be interesting is some of the unique software capabilities that are exclusive to this hardware. And we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But I mean, an iPhone 16, like a slightly better camera, a slightly faster chip, slightly more RAM, a slightly brighter screen, I do not care at all, I'm sorry to say.
I do think it's cool these days to say Apple doesn't innovate and it's all incremental and nothing's changed. I have a slightly contrarian view on this. Having really gone deeply down the rabbit hole on product, this idea of deep focus and principles and polish, I have come to really admire the incremental improvement of Apple products that over time really ladder up to something very, very valuable. And if you look at the iPhone, 15 compared to the 13, it is a better device. And if you compare most Apple iPhones to most Android phones, it's a better device. And I don't mean a feature list, I mean using it. Little things like the tap targets are better. When you tap a button, like on Facebook, it actually sticks. It actually goes blue and it actually locks in. Things, SharePlay actually works. Like it is just a better world to live in. And I think the incrementalism is the reason for that.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Chris. The iPhone 16 will be the best phone out there. The same way the iPhone 15 is the best phone now, the iPhone 14 was the best phone the year before, and so on. It's just not interesting. We want to talk about interesting things here. Incremental, small product polish improvements are not interesting, right? And they're predictable at this point, I would say. And so, it's like, I remember when the iPhone 4 came out. We're all old enough to remember that. That thing was fucking amazing. I couldn't wait to see one. And when I saw it, it looked like magic. No one feels that way about the iPhone 16. I'm sorry, they just don't.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just, for the founders listening, I think the idea that doing incremental, boring changes can often ladder up to really powerful net benefit to your customers. More founders need to do boring things on the way to a compelling vision. And they're just kind of trying to skip all the steps. I think that's an important lesson from Apple. What I'd love to see is, if they're the next categories I'd love to see, which they're not going to announce this event, but, foldables without a crease. If Apple could crack the code on that, I think that'd be a revelation. And I think Apple needs to get into smart glasses. Those are the next form factor that matter for me. So it's not going to happen this week, but I'd love to see it at some point soon.
I want to see 2 weeks of battery life. I think that is the one thing that will improve my life.
Yes, exactly.
Have you tried, by the way, Amir, have you tried turning off the mobile data and Wi-Fi on your phone? You will get 2 weeks of battery life. All you have to give up is internet.
The reason I'm wearing Wii things and not Apple Watch is a 3 weeks battery life.
Well, that's the reason I wear a Whoop. It just lasts forever, and you can plug it in while wearing it. Have any of you noticed that your phone has stopped lasting the day? By the way,
Yep. In the last 2
Right.
months, it's crazy.
in the last 1 or 2 months, right? The pragmatist in me just says, hey, it takes about a year for it to lose that much battery health. The conspiracy theorist in me says this is a marketing tactic to drive new phone sales.
I do have one lukewarm take on your point of innovation, is that phones have become very same. There hasn't been much, I hesitate to even use the word innovation, just variety. Like, what's happened to small phones? What's happened to, phones that prioritize battery life? They might be heavier with a bigger battery. Like, all the phones have kind of converged to a single form factor, and it's pretty dull. There's not a lot of consumer choice. So, if anybody could think of a new form factor that optimized for a different set of criteria and do it well, it would be Apple. So I would love to see them do something like that. I don't expect they will, though.
There are a number of niche phones, dumb phones, and digital ink phones that last for weeks and so on, that are designed to help people with digital detox and so on. There's the foldable phones and so on. I do think Apple's interested in the mainstream, and they're interested in perfecting things before they launch them, so they're unlikely to do something more niche there. But I do expect, or at least hope, that in the era of AI, the form factor of the software is going to radically change, less app-like and more conversational or unified. And I do wonder if the hardware can change as well along with it. At the very least, the software experience is going to change dramatically, I think. But there is an opportunity, like the pin, like the necklace, like the glasses. I think we will be talking about materially new, important categories moving forward that either displace the phone or the phone itself evolves. But I'm not really sure what that'll look like. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.